is, if you have a flashlight, let's say, and you shine it in a bright room, you don't make any difference in the bright room. But if you shine it in a dark room, you make a lot of difference. Okay, I'm Rick Bergen. Hello. And I've been a missionary in Brazil with Xtreme Mercy since 1993. We first moved to Brazil in 1993, Deanna and I, and our one-year-old daughter Annika. Since then we had 3 more daughters, and we raised all 4 girls in Brazil, and we are there to plant churches. That's the best way we've seen to transform communities. So if you want to help the poor, you can either help some poor people, or you can start a church that loves to help the poor. And then you can leave behind a community where people can bring their kids. Single moms can come and visit or be part of it. Job training can happen through a local church. A local church, when it's working right, is a great community transformation project. And so that's our heart. Yeah, so we've seen several examples of people who are living very worldly lives. They did not know God. They didn't know anything about a church. And somehow they got to, became friends with us. In some cases, they started working with Dee. In other cases, they became friends of mine. And we started doing studies with the Bible, or they started coming to church with us. And then they started seeking God, and God started to change in their lives. Little things, one thing after another, and then their families started coming back together. We've seen people become from drunks with broken families to becoming senior pastors. And so then they're just trying to motivate a whole group of people to help others and to help transform their community and to build their church. Now that we've been there 25 years, our ministry is changing from hands-on ministry at a local church level to training leaders. And so we spend a lot of time now traveling and then doing training events for people to learn how to do discovery group Bible studies, and to take it from there to raise up groups of leaders. That's the stage we're working on right now. 25 years ago we moved to Brazil, and about 23 years ago we started in the Xingu River Basin. And back then we prayed and we thought God wanted us to start by planting 1,000 churches in the Amazon. And so we're still working toward this goal. We're at about 70 churches right now, and there's a lot of things we've done that haven't worked out as well as we hoped they would. But there's some things that are going really well, and some things that have exceeded our expectations. So we're trying to learn from our years on the field to start churches that plant churches that plant churches. I started a little neighborhood Bible study with some wild guys from the street. Most of them had broken marriages or bad marriages, and they were mostly alcoholics. But anyways, we started meeting on a porch, and we started just being friends and drinking coffee. But we'd always read a Bible story on Monday nights, and I would let them read it. And so we would stumble through one verse after another, and then we would talk about, why do you think that's in the Bible? What do you think that means? And slowly over time, so it wasn't a teaching lesson where I'm teaching them about God. It was us reading together in the Bible. After about 9 months of that, they came to an encounter weekend. Out of that group, in 2004, we now have about 5 or 6 senior pastors with solid families. So I would have a word of encouragement for the Canadian church, and that is, if you have a flashlight, let's say, and you shine it in a bright room, you don't make any difference in the bright room. But if you shine it in a dark room, you make a lot of difference. And so the same with your Christianity. If you want to go and get your own stories and find out those stories where God's working and the kind that are written in the books, you need to go to dark places and let your light shine, because that's where you'll make the big difference. That's where you can see the big difference between light and day. And so I don't know what those dark places look like for you, but it's hard to live out your Christian testimony if you're always in these bright light places. You know, different times in Brazil I've gone to some dark places, and like for example, I minister in the jail cell where they unlock us through several doors and lock them behind us, and I minister to people who have done really bad things. And we do a discovery group there, down inside there. But it never feels scary. God's always with me. It always feels, I can sense the presence of God real strong there. It does feel dangerous, but that's different than being scary. We've learned some things over the years, but we have no regrets that we've spent our lives this way, and we look forward to this next season of life. I'm always surprised how few people are actually missionaries. To me, it's just the best life in the world. So if you have a sense that God's nudging you in that direction, I'd recommend taking steps and see where the path leads, because it's really been an abundant life.